Hello, this is Ian, CEO at We Offer Wellness, and I'm here today with Sylvia. So, Sylvia, hello again.
Hi, Ian. Nice to meet you again.
We're laughing because we had one of our We Offer Wellness provider forums last night, and Sylvia kindly joined us to contribute, participate, and see what's going on. Sylvia, I know where you are, but some people might not. And the reason I know because I have to ask you. But so tell us, where are you based and located, please?
So I'm based in East Kent, but that doesn't really mean anything because I mainly work online. So
Okay.
I see clients all over the world, but I have a treatment room I can use in Ramsgate and one in Margate.
Okay, so we've got in person, but also online.
Mainly online, exactly.
Yeah, and okay, yeah. Out of interest, do you have a preference how you like to work?
Um, I still like online,
Okay, good.
just because it's less time consuming with going to the venue and coming back. And I also notice in my clients, I mean, okay, some people are totally zoomed out and they don't want to be online anymore. But people who still embrace it and enjoy being online and meeting me online. Um, when I teach TRE, and I will explain later what it is, but it's really nice for the client to stay in a place where they feel safe and comfortable. And then after a relaxing session, they don't need to drive or get home in any way. So I offer late afternoon, early evening appointments. So many of my clients have a session, feel super, super relaxed, and then say, do you know what? I just jump on my, or maybe not even jump, get on my sofa, take it really easy.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of then being at home or wherever they feel comfortable.
No, and very nice to hear because I do some of my practice online and as well as in person. I have many conversations like with Sylvia, where people do their meditation or their yoga or their breath work online. And these were not conversations that were even in existence pre-COVID 5 years ago. So the world's changed. And what's
Absolutely.
great about that is it's an opportunity to connect with people. So I'm a
Yes.
big fan of the online still. So I'm glad you are. Anyway, you talked about people, finding this state of relaxation. Tell us how you're going to get them there then. So explain to us what it is that you do, please.
So, well, let's start at the beginning. I teach TRE, and TRE stands for tension and trauma releasing exercises. Um, it has a like trauma background in the way that David Berceli, who created it, worked in war zones and helped communities affected by war to get over that trauma. And when he then returned to the United States, where he's based, he worked a lot with war veterans who presented with PTSD. And this is one thing, but it's also, I mean, so many people, myself included, aren't even or weren't, in my case, I wasn't aware I had experienced trauma. It was like, well, that's life, stiff upper lip and move on. But then you might encounter physical symptoms, whether it's a backache or your teeth grinding or you have gastrointestinal issues and your tummy is playing up. These can all be symptoms of trauma or at least psychosomatic aches and pains where your body's crying for help. And I help my clients to get that out of the system. And with TRE, we do two things. We release the tension we are holding in our body, in our muscles. We release that. And as well, a big majority, many people say up to 80 or 90% of aches and pains are based on too much tension we are holding in the body. And you probably notice that yourself when you're stressed, you tense up, and then you might have shoulder back pain, tension headaches. Yeah, but once you release the tension, the knock-on effects can be amazing, and the pain disappears.
Yeah.
And I see that in myself with my back pain and in my clients all the time, where they are like, wow, that really works. And the second option is, well, not option, but the second feature is we down-regulate an overly active nervous system. So if somebody is highly strung or constantly in fight or flight, the nervous system down-regulation will help to find equilibrium. So again, the follow-on effects could be less anxiety, less menopausal irritability, fewer anger issues, and so on and so on.
Curious then, how did you discover this? How did you, find what you do?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That was years ago, total years ago. I had a taster session with the Jigit and Reiki. I also do Reiki with a Reiki colleague of mine, and when she trained in TRE. And all I remember was it was super relaxing. And after the session, I had the best good night's sleep ever. And I practiced a few times and then it fizzled out. And I was like, now I'm wondering why. And I can only think I either didn't understand what it could do for me, or I totally dismissed it because I said before, I was under the impression I never experienced trauma. I don't need that. Yeah. And then many years later, during the first lockdown, when I was in a really fortunate position and I was on furlough and I was reorganizing my career and I wanted to do what I really want to do and enjoy doing rather than looking at the big money and the big career. I learned that so many experts said we are going through a collective trauma. And I'm like, trauma? How can I help these people? Right. And TRE came into my mind again. And I looked into it and I loved really, I was really impressed what I saw. And then I started training. And I was blown away how clever our bodies are. Because when I had something which wasn't working, my default, like many people's default, is let's talk things through, let's analyze it, let's make sense of it cognitively. And I even trained as a counselor. I didn't finish the training, but I have the foundation training. Never did anything for me. Still wanted to train, didn't do anything for me either. But training in a somatic modality like TRE was an eye-opener. And I'm like, wow, Bessel van der Kolk, you probably know this amazing book, The Body Keeps the Score. Right. He is right. I mean, he is a psychotherapist. And he says we need to take the body into account. It's not just all up here. And I find it super impressive. I saw the results myself, I see them in my clients, and I'm just loving it.
It really comes across like that. It sounds like you found your thing,
Absolutely.
And I believe that we've all got a thing or many things, and your journey brought you to this point. And I hope people do come in and find you. So somebody connects with you, they come into We Offer Wellness, they connect with you, Sylvia. Do you do an initial discovery call type thing? So that is then an exchange between you and the customer client, or what to expect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For them to ask all their questions, and also obviously to get to know me and my approach. And as I said before, with being in the right and most comfortable place, I want people to be really comfortable when they are practicing TRE. So they need to find the right person to do that with. Absolutely.
Okay. And with regards to what you do, give us an idea. Is it a combination of one session or several sessions? How does it work?
Ideally, because it's based on my experience, where I was like, okay, I tried it once and then it fizzled out. Ideally, I teach over 4 sessions, and my clients tend to like that, where in the first session, they get an introduction and they get like slowly introduced to how their body reacts. And basically what we do in TRE, as odd as it might sound, is we shake things off. every mammal is genetically encoded to shake off stress. Our clever brains override our bodily reactions by saying, don't be ridiculous, don't show vulnerability, or only in very extreme circumstances. Maybe after an accident, you see people leaving the car and their knees are wobbly.
Mm.
Yeah, many women after childbirth, they shake to get over the stress, the trauma they've experienced. And sorry, where was I? So yeah, that's what we do in TRE. So we give our bodies a chance to release this tension by shaking it off. Dogs do it beautifully. So be more dog.
Yeah, and I was going to say the very science, the natural science behind the tail in animals is shaking off the tension, the friction, the static, and so forth.
Absolutely.
Still, this is
And
lovely. This is
just very briefly, and then in session 1, you might only ever shake for 20, 30 seconds because we don't want to overwhelm the system. And then in sessions 2 and 3, we are building up tremoring confidence. So you know how your body is reacting and how that makes you feel. And then I take a 4-week break. And in session 4, I then assess the client and see, they tell me, are they always shaking in a certain pattern, and how can I help them to get the most out of the process by introducing interventions. So that's a 4-session course, and then it's their tool for life.
Yeah. I think you've explained it very clearly, and what I like about what you do is, alongside you wanting to invest you and help, it also invites and creates a space for the person to invest themselves into it to really benefit, which is the way it should work anyway with any kind of
it's empowering. It's empowering.
Yeah.
I mean, people who say, well, I've got the odd headache, I pop a pill, probably not my client. Same for people who have back pain and want to see a physio to work with them or discuss things with a counselor. Not necessarily a TRE client, but if somebody says, I know my body is clever enough and I'm fed up asking for help or getting help or paying for help on a regular basis, I want to do something proactively myself. TRE is your tool.
Excellent. Sylvia, thank you for being with the Offer Wellness and being part of what we're doing and building together. I often say this, let's get more of this in the world, and we need more people like you. So thank you for being part of it. And people, please do come and find Sylvia and what she's doing, connect and have the experience, and discover. So Sylvia, thank you ever so much. I'll see you around.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.